Okay, first of all, major action of gluteus medius is as a pelvic stabilizer as compared to hip abductor. This is mentioned in the Gray's 41st edition. As you can see, the predominant action of gluteus medius is as a pelvic stabilizer rather than as a hip abductor. Okay, now as I was talking about gluteus medius, so you should know a little bit about that. First of all, this is the gluteus maximus. We know on the posterior surface of the iliac bone there are anterior, posterior and inferior gluteal lines. Okay, so most superficial of them, that is gluteus maximus. It is a fan shaped muscle. Okay, it arises posterior to the posterior gluteal line. Okay, and it inserts into the gluteal tuberosity on the femur as well as iliotibial tract. Okay, here you can see. Okay, and after this, one more thing, this gluteus maximus, it is supplied by inferior gluteal nerve and vessels. Okay, below the gluteus medius, gluteus maximus, when we will reflect it, we will see the gluteus medius, or you can see it clearly here. Gluteus medius, it originates between the anterior and posterior gluteal lines. From here, gluteus maximus was originating, or you can say starting, arising, but gluteus medius, it arises between the anterior and posterior gluteal lines, and it inserts into the greater trochanter of the femur. Okay, and this gluteus medius, it mainly works as a pelvic stabilizer and is supplied by superior gluteal nerve and vessels. Similarly, gluteus minimus. Okay, although these gluteus medius and minimus, they are hip abductors, but their main role is in pelvic stabilization, especially during walking. Okay, to prevent the pelvic tilt. About that Trendelenburg sign I will talk later. Okay, now below, if I am reflecting this gluteus medius, I can see gluteus minimus here. Okay, which is again inserting into the greater trochanter, and here this is the posterior surface. Here you can see from the anterior anterolateral part of sacrum, piriformis is originating and is also inserting into the greater trochanter, medial margin of greater trochanter. After that, this is gemellus superior. Okay, then obturator internus, then gemellus inferior, then quadratus femoris. Now listen. As we can see that this gemellus superior, and after that obturator internus is coming. So the nerve supply of this gemellus superior as well as the obturator internus is same, that is nerve to obturator internus, whereas the nerve supply of gemellus inferior and quadratus femoris is same. Okay, that is nerve to quadratus femoris. So in this, I was I wanted to tell you a minute that this gluteus medius, this gluteus maximus is supplied by your inferior gluteal nerve and vessels, whereas gluteus maximus and minimus, they are supplied by superior gluteal nerve and vessels. One more thing, one very important thing, often we get confused in actions of the muscles. So how to remember them? First, you should know that in the upper limb, the proximal muscle attachment is fixed. Earlier we used to say that action of any muscle is towards its origin, but it is not correct properly, because in the upper limb the proximal muscle attachment is fixed and the distal is mobile. Therefore, any direction of pull of muscle is towards its origin, or you can say proximal muscle attachment. Whereas in case of lower limbs, the distal attachment is fixed and the proximal is mobile. Therefore, mostly the action is towards the origin. Okay, according to Gray's 41st. So, as I have shown you these muscles, first is gluteus maximus, this muscle. Okay, so if what is the action? Try to think that it is pulling it towards its origin. So it mainly helps to the direction of pull is towards its insertion. Okay, so it helps to extend the trunk on the femur. It is a powerful extensor of the hip joint and it mainly extends the trunk on the femur. Okay, next is your gluteus medius. It stabilizes the pelvis. For example, it will direction of pull will be here. Okay, so during walking it prevents the pelvic tilt. Okay, that I will describe later, I have told. Okay, and similarly third one, gluteus. Okay, after that, major flexors of hip joint are iliacus and psoas major. First, you should know that don't confuse the anterior compartment of thigh with the flexors of hip. Anterior compartment of thigh is the extensor. Anterior compartment is the extensor compartment. Okay, extensor in relation to knee joint we say. Okay, similarly posterior compartment of thigh is flexor of knee joint. Okay, posterior compartment is flexor of knee joint, and medial compartment is the adductor compartment. Okay, one thing you can remember, that obturator nerve is for medial compartment. Okay, rest of the things we will do. And we know already that posterior compartment is also called as hamstring muscles. Okay, which include three muscles: semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and biceps femoris. Anyways, now I was talking about the major flexors of hip joint. These are iliacus and psoas major. Here you can see, this is the, I had discussed about this in the one previous video also, that these two muscles, this is iliacus. Iliacus means in relation to iliac bone. Okay, it begins from the inferior surface, inner lip of your this iliac bone. Okay, and it covers the entire iliac surface. And the psoas major, it arises from your lumbar spine, especially T12 to L5. Okay, and the main thing is that both of them, they are inserted together into the lesser trochanter of femur. Okay, one more thing, I had told that within this you can say these iliacus and these psoas major, these are the major flexors of the hip joint, because they flex the thigh at the hip joint. Okay, these are the major flexors of thigh, or you can say major flexors of the hip joint. Okay.